Hey everyone, today I'm going to show y'all how to ferment your own chicken feed. The reason you may want to ferment is it'll actually make your chicken feed go longer because it expands it, and it makes it, I guess, a larger particles, so you can go through less feed and feed the same amount of chickens. It helps break down the feed, I guess, and it's easier for the chickens to digest it and everything, so it's easier for them to eat it and digest it and use all the nutrients in it. I have a local mash feed that is non-GMO, and it works fine for it. I think it will also work fine for pellets. I haven't tried it myself. My next batch of feed I have is pellets, so I'm going to be trying it with it, but I've heard it works with pellets. So what you want, hey kitty, you want several buckets or any other container you can find. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is just an empty bucket. I'm going to fill it about halfway full of feed. So you can see there's my feed. It's about half full, maybe a little over half. This is what this feed looks like. It's just a ground up mash of feed. There's a few whole kernels of corn and stuff like that. It's from a local mill we got it. Next, I have some creek water. You want to use like non-chlorinated water, so don't use your tap water. If you do use your tap water, just let it sit out for a day or so. But I've got creek water from our creek. You can also use rainwater, anything, well water, stuff like that. In this bucket, I've got a little bit of our last ferment, the water from it, the drain off. I'm going to actually, hey kitty, you gonna be in the video? Hey buddy. This is one of our cats. We have two cats. We got him and the black cat that's a female. You good boy? Yeah. And you can save your old fermented water and pour it into it, and it just has more microbes and all the bacteria you want for the ferment. It helps it get going better. And today is one of our first cold days of the year, so it's going to take a little bit longer for this ferment to work. Normally you can do it in the summer when it's hot. You can have it started and finished in a day. What you doing? Hey, get on down. There you go. And I'm going to pour. Here's some of the old water, the fermented water. There's that. And here's some of the creek water. You just want to fill it up to where it goes over the feed. Alright. There's what it looks like now. And you're going to need a stick or something to stir it with. You want to stir all this water and to make all the feed wet. And after this step, you'll probably have to add more water because it soaks it up. Alright, now you can see how much the feed has absorbed the water. And you just want to add more water. Always keep your water above the feed. Now it looks like that. It's all good and bubbly. As your feed ferments, it'll bubble really good. If you come out to your feed and it's all bubbled and smells like, I don't know, fermented food, you're doing good. If it smells soured and stuff like that, it's not good. So this should be good for now. We've got all the water above the feed. Now we just need to let it sit out in the open air and sun. Today's not really sunny, but hopefully tomorrow is. Hopefully today and tomorrow it'll be finished. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever done it in the cold, so we'll see. I like to get a lid. I don't know that it's necessary, but here's a lid. And if you get your water and feed too full, like if it's up at the top, it'll actually expand from the gas off of the ferment. And I've had the lid blow off of this. That's why you don't want to fill your bucket. I filled it up with feed probably about 3/4 of the way. And then when you're finished, it's like all the way full. It's best if you keep your bucket half full, then it will expand and be about 3/4 full. I like to put our fermenting feed on this big rock. It gets the majority of the sun throughout the day because the sun comes over there. Hey Moose, how you doing today? Hey buddy. The sun comes up through the day over there and sets over here. And this area gets most of the sun, and this rock will also heat up through the day. If it was hot out, you would probably need to maybe halfway through the day come back and add more water and stir it. But with it cold right now, it should be fine until tomorrow. I've never done it overnight when it's freezing, so we're going to see how that works. I don't know if freezing will kill everything or what. It may be warm enough that it won't kill it. We'll just have to stay tuned for tomorrow. Let's go in here and say hi to the puppies real quick. Last night we had our first pretty cold night. It got below freezing. Minnie stayed right with them all night, kept them warm. She's been doing good. She's feeding them right now, looks like. Hey Minnie, you don't have to get up. Hey, don't get up. Don't get up. Hey girl. Hey. Hey. Yeah, go back to feeding your puppies. Hey, let's check on your puppies. Go back in there. Hey, there they are. Hey, Beanie. You need some loving? Minnie's doing a good job being a mama. You being a good mama? Yeah, being a good mama. Keeping your puppies warm and fed. So it's noontime the next day. Let's go check on our fermented chicken feed and see what it's doing. I did, right like at dusk last night, I did come out here and check on it. I didn't have my camera, but I opened it up and the feed soaked up most of the water, so I did stir it up one more time and put some more water in it. Hey Moose. So I've done one stir and added water after the initial setup. So let's see what it looks like now. You see it's got plenty of sun here on this rock. Let's open it up. It's all good and bubbly. It don't look too frozen or anything. It may have frozen last night, but it's unfrozen now. So let's stir it up some and see what it looks like. This is pretty much exactly how you want it to look. You want it to be good and soupy, watery, and bubbly. Looks like I could probably add a little more water, but probably not even needed that much, but I'm going to do it anyways, just to get it totally filled, covered up full of water. I think that stirred up pretty well. You can see how much is bubbling. Let's add a little bit of water to it. Should be good. That's what you want it to look like. That's, with it bubbling everything that much, I know it's fermenting. I know it's working. I say it will probably be ready. Hey, kitty. I say it'll probably be ready at the end of today, especially sitting out here in the sun. So it looks like it's gonna take about a day and a half, I guess, in the cold weather. So let's cover it back up with the lid. We'll come out here and check on it later. It should be finished. Then we'll just have to drain it. It's been about 2 hours since we stirred this feed. Let's check on it now and see what it looks like. Yeah, it looks really good. I say it's finished now. You can also smell it, and it definitely smells fermented now, so you can see all the bubbles from it. So this feed looks like it's good to go for me. We're going to take it up on the porch and start draining it out. Next, what I do, I have this bucket here. It has holes drilled all on the bottom. It's got it on around the sides and underneath it too. And this is another bucket. I just put the bucket with the holes in it inside of it, and then start pouring out our new feed here. I normally just do this a little bit at a time. Pour some in. First of it's going to be mostly water, and I will either stir it around with the stick like this, because the hose get kind of clogged up. So if I do this, it keeps the hose unclogged. Or if I just want to, let it sit here and take its time to drain, that's the slower way of doing it, but it doesn't take any of your input, so you're not wasting time sitting here stirring it. So now you can see kind of how dry the stuff I've been draining is. I've only been doing this for maybe 10 minutes, if that. And there's my wet bucket. So I've still got a ways to go, but that's the majority of the water's out of it now. So here's all the feed in the draining bucket. Most of the water is all out now, but you can see how much more feed this gave us by fermenting it and soaking it. Because I've got about 3/4 of a bucket now versus the half I had before. That's a pretty good you get quite a bit more out of your feed by doing this than you would just feeding it to them dry. And this is more nutritious for them. It's easier for them to actually break it down and digest it. It's still kind of soupy, or not soupy, but kind of soggy right now, I guess. You can see the moisture on my hand. But this will dry out some and be a lot better. You just want to give it, it took me probably 15 minutes to drain this out and stir it. Now I'm just going to let it sit here for probably the rest of the evening and just let it keep on draining. And it's still in the holy bucket, so you can keep it in the holy bucket. If it's going to freeze or you have problems with bugs getting in it, you may want to put it in like a solid bucket with no hose. But in the summertime, I've left it in the holy bucket, and we just used it for about, this amount of feeds lasts about a week and a half, and we've used it in the holy bucket for that whole time and not really seen a problem with it. With it freezing now at night, I'm probably going to transfer this to a solid bucket and use it like that. That's pretty much all it is to fermenting and making your chicken feed go longer, last longer. It's really good to do this, I think. We've been doing this ever since probably about March of this year, and really liking how it works. So if you got any more tips and tricks for us that we can save money, make feed go longer, or any other thing that helps on a homestead, please leave some comments down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and check back next time to see what else we're doing on the homestead and for more puppy videos. See y'all.